What is up, guys? Doing a little roster editing here. We're almost done with this overhaul. What is up, guys? It's been a long process, but got the Ravens here thanks to my main man, Andy. Longtime supporter of the channel, and now patron. Gets to see his Ravens done here. And these have been taking a little longer because NFL Draft Scout is a website I use, and they've been down. So it's a lot harder to cross-reference workout grades and stuff. What's up? We got Andy in the building. The producer of this episode, we'll call him. Yeah, I don't hate Joe Flacco. I don't think he's good, but you can say that just about any quarterback would be better with better receivers. I think 77's about right for him, though. Josh Woodrum. Didn't watch my Browns rebuild stray FAQs. If you want Browns questions answered, that's going to be the best place. But yes, I do think they need to draft a quarterback first overall because they have plenty of picks. And I like Darnold and Allen both enough to take number one. I think it'd be stupid for them to risk missing out on one of them. Just pulling up my Ravens grades here from PFF. And then we got to look up this Josh Woodrum here, see what his athleticism looks like. Let's see. Runs about a 4.7, 4.8. But his 3-cone and stuff. He's got pretty high agility and acceleration here. We want to make sure that's accurate. Sure enough, it does not. Actually, good agility. What's up, Nasheed? How you doing? Running back. Woodhead will be back, right? That's right. He came back towards the end of this year. I forgot about that. Just kind of existed. Now, one thing, and I'll cross-reference this, but I'm pretty sure Danny Woodhead is actually like 4.3 fast. And obviously, it will go down a little bit because Yeah, you're in a 4.33, so I mean, we'll regress him a little bit, but that's traditionally like 94 speed. And then what were his agility scores, I wonder? Just for fun. 7.0, so go about there. .57, 195. That's pretty strong for 5'7". Big thing with this roster is strength is much more consistent with height and weight. Whereas in the EA roster, it's much more about their bench press, which, as we all know, is fun to see, but very rarely is that actually an indicator of their full body strength, which is how it works in this game. Now, how does Danny Woodhead possibly not have rack catches? It's insane. Yeah, if the Ravens did cut Woodhead, we'll take care of that later. Basically just doing what we can for now until we find out what all is official. Yeah, see, I really disagree with you guys saying Saquon needs to go number 1. This running back class is so deep. If they don't take a quarterback 1, they're risking not getting Allen or Darnold, which I think is a huge mistake. I think there's a huge drop-off after that. So Noah Collins actually has pretty quick feet. But let's see how his, like, agility scores actually were. Because there's a difference between having quick feet and being able to turn your hips. So he didn't actually do his 3-cone. That's the worst, is when I don't have a 3-cone score to look at or a shuttle score. So I think that should be like 90. He's 4.59 fast, so I think 89 is a little high. .5'10", 210. Probably be, no, I think 74 is about right. Perfect. Actually, I think I want Collins at a 79. Yeah, that Steelers defense was lost once Shazier went down. That definitely showed in the playoffs, too. Anytime you get 45 points to Blake Bortles, you got some problems. Buck Allen actually didn't have the worst year. Like 500 snaps. He's 4.53. Don't know why his agility is so low. He had a good 3-cone at the combine. He's 6'1", 222. So that's... Yeah, I think Ravens should definitely go receiver. The carrying goes down for a lot of running backs on this because a lot of guys have such poor ball carrier moves. A lot of times that carrying into the mid to high 80s is just the first thing that I want to bring down. But when all is said and done, it seems to be about where it should be. Most running backs sit around 80 to 85 carrying. I don't think necessarily just because you haven't fumbled doesn't mean you need like 99 carrying, you know? It's not like he will never fumble. Who we got? Terrence West. People forget Terrence West was actually like a second-round pick, I'm pretty sure. This is what I mean by this takes longer now because NFLDraftScout.com is down, where I used to be able to quickly get all of their pro day scores. But now I got to do some digging. It's a pain in the ass. 7.28 3-cone. That is not good. And I definitely think of him as a one-cut guy, Terrence West. Geez, West did not play much at all this year. Did he get hurt? Only got him at 66 snaps. Jimmy Smith might be out in Baltimore. Really? Where'd you hear that? Let's see. Kenneth Dixon. We got to go back to 2016 to see how he graded out. I remember being pretty impressed by him as a runner, actually. Just kind of inconsistent. Four, 5, 8, 40. Five, 10, 2, 12. All right, that looks pretty good to me. Now receivers. Doesn't this team have like 40 receivers, or is it tight ends? That's not that bad. Yeah, it's the tight ends. They got so many. All right, Mike Wallace. I feel like that's pretty low. 6'1", 200. Can come up. Just a little regression there. I'll actually flip those. I have not done defense yet. I just start with the offense. Jay, if you need a league invite, can you message me on Twitter, or I need more than that to go off of, man. We don't just let anyone in. We need to make sure you're ready to play sim and stuff. 6'1", 198. That's still a little too high. I think Macklin should be a 76. Let's look up Perriman's workout. I know he's fast. Is he quick? I know he's not that quick, but I want to at least check what his 3-cone was. They got him at 89. I don't even know if he ran it. That's usually a sign that he's afraid of what he's going to score, and that there's a reason he's not doing the agility scores. Yeah, geez, he didn't run it anywhere. That drives me crazy. Although this is saying you're on a 6.75, which if that's true. Oh no, it's a different player that's talking about. Why is Macklin rated higher than Wallace when Wallace had a better year? Well, for one, Macklin actually graded out better on PFF, which is a big thing I go off of. Two, actually, that's not true, not for this year. But this is a projection of next year. And I think a healthy Jeremy Macklin is better than healthy Mike Wallace. I think he's a better route runner. I think he's got a little better hands. They're obviously rated very close here, but projecting forward a little bit. But also Macklin's injury rating there that was you saw was pretty low. That will show up as well. Geez, Brashad Perriman. They really tried to get him going this year, didn't they? He had almost 400 snaps. He was really bad. $36.5. That's about it. I think the strength actually 6'2", 215. I think that's actually about right. Macklin's 2 years younger than Wallace, too. Wallace is going to be 32 next year. All right, Chris Moore. A rare situation where I actually agree with all 4 of those physical traits based on his scores. 6'1", 200 pounds. Sure enough, a little underrated. Madden is not nice to the white receivers, I'll tell you that much. Ran a 4.46, which is about 91 speed. And he's fast. Like, they use this guy in all kinds of different stuff. 20-yard shuttle was 4 seconds. That's really good. And his 3-cone is really high, too. .59, 192. That's thick for... But they actually got that right. Not much of a receiver, though. Just kind of a returner. He actually got 262 snaps this year at receiver. Easily the most he's ever had. Kenny Bell. This dude's a freak, I think. Weren't they trying him out at tight end at one point? So 4.42. Shuttle's actually not. Doesn't match up with that 95 speed. They have a really nice 3-cone. Let's see, he didn't even play this year. or last year. So he's definitely a project. Let's see, where Ravens? I'm not even seeing Kenny Bell on here. Is he even on this team anymore? I don't think so. Looks to me like he needs to get released. Let's see if he's somewhere else. He's on the Broncos. All right, so we'll finish him off and then. Got to make him below 60 overall so that he doesn't get any guaranteed money into your franchise modes because they sign for whatever their overall is, and then I'll move them back. If they would let me edit contracts, that would be much easier. All right, one more receiver here. Yet again, another player whose agility scores are really good that Madden just decided he couldn't be quick because he's not rated high. I don't know. I don't get it. A 6.733 cone is really good. .442. Yeah. He did get into a game at least. He's not a total project. I mean, he's still a project, but if they let him on the field, he's not like a total waste at this point. 62 from 62 to 64. Question is, what do we do with Crockett Gilmore here? Because they got him at 260 pounds. And I can't edit that. So we're going to have to just deal with it. And if you want to use the Ravens, you can raise his weight once you get into the franchise, I guess. Benjamin Watson, is he still playing? Let's see. Looks like he is. He's going to be a free agent. They're so hard on these on the blocking for these tight ends. I'm pretty convinced it's just because he graded out really bad. It wasn't even really bad. He had basically one really bad game as a run blocker that destroyed his ratings. But they still use him a ton as a blocker. He's clearly usable in that regard. The release for tight ends is way low on my roster just because release is a lot about footwork and setting up quickness. Just because you're big doesn't mean you're going to be able to release as far as this game is concerned with how that works. I feel like that's even a little high. Did I miss impact block there? Lower that. Who's Tim White, Andy? This is a big boy, 6'4", 270. That's almost an offensive guard. $88 jumping? Really? What? Why does he have 88 jumping? That makes no sense. When I saw that, like, okay, 6'4", 270. So I'm thinking, okay, probably 30-inch vertical, right? Like mid to low 70s jumping. Yeah, he had a 30.5-inch vertical. All right, 88 jumping. Yeah, that makes so much sense. What the hell? That's the case for a lot of tight ends. If you go through and look at it. Because that is the same if you were to move him to a receiver. If you were playing him as a receiver, he'd have 58 route running for sure, if not lower. He's a blocking tight end. He's not out there you know, running corner routes and getting safeties and corners to bite or break their ankles. Plus, it's the only way to do it without sacrificing run blocking. Because obviously Nick Boyle is 77 overall as far as my roster is concerned. Okay. Yeah, Max Williams finally had a season where he was on the field. I feel like he actually was pretty good. He just needs time to groom. Played in 12 games this year. That's definitely a step up for him. Four, 7, 8. Agility for tight ends is way down as well. Some tight ends are quick, but there's way too many tight ends with like mid to high 80s that can just turn corners. Even if you look at a guy like Kyle Rudolph, like watch him catch a crossing route and try to cut up field. Like you can just tell it takes him like 2 or 3 steps to get north. Max. I'm also checking these weights because, okay, they got it right. I'm putting together a list of all the players whose weights are still off so that EA can fix those. Injury definitely down, that's for sure. Vince Mail. This guy's a converted receiver, right? Played 21 reps this year. Very unnoticeable there. Let's look at his workout. 4, 6, 7. Kind of got him right, I think. But has he gained weight? That's the question. So, no, not really. And Darren Waller. The suspended Darren Waller. So now he's gained like 30 pounds. Gained 20 pounds since he ran a 4.46. So we can, looks like they actually kind of did drop that speed already. 3-cone. Let's see, we got to go to 2016 to see his grades. Not very good. But he's also gotten bigger. Don't know why that's so high. Yay, tight ends are done. I'm flying through this. Wow, Stanley finished this year very strong. Comfortable raising him for sure. I was thinking 82. It's good for Stanley. This can go up too because he's been the only guy in this offensive line, it seems like, that can actually stay healthy. Yeah, I don't even look at long snappers. There's no point. Everyone just cuts them anyway. Because you can play anyone there and it doesn't matter. Oh, so many linemen to look at because they had so many dudes rotating. Well, it's actually less than I would have guessed. So James Hurst played. He started week 4 and he started week 17 and was really bad both times. But those were also when he started at tackle. Still think 71's a little high. Oh, also new is no linemen that are 300 pounds or heavier have lower than 80 strength because that is just ridiculous. I don't care if they can't bench a bunch. They're getting strength from somewhere else. They might not be fully connected from their hips to their chest, but as far as functional strength, it's definitely higher than 80 in this game for any lineman. Siragusa did not play, right? He was a draft pick. We'll probably just leave him. What was he, a 71? Just to keep it consistent, though. It's a little too high in the blocking and low in the awareness. Our lad says this guy listed as a tackle. How old is Yonda? Is he going to be 35? No, he's not that old. Has he ever really been hurt? Not really. Yeah, he'll be fine. He's tough. Matt Skura. He did not play. What does that say about you if you didn't play this year? Was he hurt? Must have been hurt. Because everyone played at guard for this team. Yeah. Did Illuminor get hurt too? It's so hard to keep track of all the guys that got hurt for this Ravens team. Because it really was like everyone. Just going to assume he didn't play because of injury, because I actually thought he was going to be pretty good. Just take a look at what he looks like. Yeah, see, I think this can probably go up. I think he's got a lot of potential. Maybe a little high there. Although, what round pick was he? Oh, I'm looking at 2017. That's why I can't see these guys. That makes so much more sense. Okay, Illuminor did play. Skura did play. He was terrible. Alex Lewis did not play this year. But I think he may have been hurt. God, you would need to be a loyal ass Ravens fan to follow everything that was going on with this offensive line this year, because what a mess. Jeez. I'm not even seeing Alex Lewis on their team. Looks like he's gone. Andy, if you're still watching, is Tim White in this game? All right, we're going to leave Alex Lewis for now because says on Roto World he's still there. He's not on the Our Lads depth chart. He was injured and didn't play this year. It's just a headache of a edit here for this line. Jeez. Oh, they've got him listed as their starting right tackle next year. That's why I didn't see him. I know Austin Howard was pretty bad, but he held up okay, actually. His grade's better than I thought they'd be. Jeez, this is easily the most frustrating offensive line edit. So many just undrafted dudes. You have no idea who they are. But you know they're nothing. We'll do Crockett Gilmore. We'll just pretend he's 300 pounds. So strength comes up to, we'll go 79. This is going to come down. This is going to come down. This is going to come way down. Definitely going to be undisciplined there. It's probably about right. All right, offense is done. Defense will be a little less hectic. This is where it's frustrating because Brandon Williams, as a defensive tackle, should be high 80s. But if you make him too good at defensive end to be that high, you move him to D tackle and he's a 99 overall. This is why this game needs to just grow up and go D-line, as in interior D linemen, edge rushers, and linebackers, so that you don't have to deal with this crap. So he's going to look lower than he is. Let's just put it that way. They do definitely have two true nose tackles on this team. See, like he's 81. Let's just see for fun. I gotta make sure I got enough bodies all around the board here so I can actually do this. It's not even worth it because if I move him to D tackle, they make you have 3 defensive tackles before you can move anyone away from it. But I promise you, if you move him to D tackle, he'll be like an 88. So it looks way lower than he is. It's just gonna have to deal with it. You know, they're saying right here, they're saying he's like an 81 overall edge rusher, which, you know, you guys aren't stupid. You know what I'm talking about. That seems really freaky high for a 300-pound D tackle. Let's make sure this is... Those are like Michael Bennett caliber. Chris Wormley, 4.82 and 4.87. So that's more like that. And that was at his pro day. 4.55 short shuttle. So that comes down. Willie Henry's going to be a good player in this league for a while, I think. Now that he's kind of settled down off the field. $78 maybe just a touch too high though. Still growing. All these Ravens linemen have really high speed. It's pretty crazy. Sometimes it's justified. Sometimes it's just some random Madden dart throw of a rating. A lot of times it's like this guy was 260 pounds and ran, you know, a 4.8, and then got to the Ravens, they decided you're going to put on weight, and then they never changed his speed. That's one thing that could do it. It's just, you know, they aren't putting that much thought into this stuff most of the time. Can't even find a 40 time for this guy. It's a 4th round pick. Why are there no 40 times? 4.94. 4.94 is not 77 speed. For a 300-pound, 6'7" lineman. Who is the most underrated player in the league? It's a good question. Let me ponder it. Hey, Carl Davis finally had a good year. Good for him. I always liked Carl Davis. Let's see, why is that so low? I guess it's because he's at defensive end, huh? He's more of a run stuffing D lineman. Just have to. Don't want it to be a situation where you move him to D tackle in your franchise and he's rated too high. But he should also be above Urban, so maybe we need to make him a 71. Actually, you know what? Urban only played 123 snaps, so that's 70's a little high for that. Well, I don't know about most overrated. I think that no, I can't even think of his name. K'Wan Short is a good one. I think he needs to be more in the discussion with those top 5 D tackles. Drew Brees. Or, sorry, not Drew Brees. Philip Rivers. That's actually a little high, I think. He's pretty much only run defense, not much. I think an 84 is good for Pierce. All right, done with that D line. Keenan Allen is, or not Keenan Allen. Case Keenum is definitely up there with most overrated. Pierce might be a better pass rusher than Williams. In my opinion, I think teams are much more worried about Brandon Williams than Michael Pierce. Neither of them are pass rushers, though. They're both nose tackles, you know? you're kind of splitting hairs if you want to argue about who's a better pass rusher between those two. Once you get north of like 330 pounds, it's hard to find a pass rusher there. All right, Judon. He was kind of inconsistent this year, but I know he had kind of a streak of really good games. He's actually really good in coverage this year. Wow, really bad agility scores, actually. Willing to compromise a little bit because he's played well in coverage, but definitely 7.67 3 cone and 4.52 shuttle. That's consistent with about 70 agility in this game. But let's see, he was 275 at the time. What is he now? He's still 275. Can make sure here. Yep, still at 275. Doesn't surprise me that his scores are so low. He's kind of a straight line runner. And covering out of that 3-4 outside linebacker position, they're not asking him to do too much, really. I don't think he's quick enough to really be a man cover guy. I mean, 73 zone for a pass rusher, that's like as high as it gets. That's maybe Justin Houston has higher, but you're not moving him to middle linebacker and getting a good cover linebacker here, that's for sure. He had 9 sacks on 18 hurries. Dang. That is not good. That's not a good sign for repeating for him. Albert McClellan, he didn't play. Is he hurt? Is he still on the team? I feel like that's actually about where he belongs. I think he was hurt. He's... Let's see, what did he do in 2016? I don't even think he played. Let's see. last played in 2016 and was not good at all. So I don't see him at 32 years old retaking any starting positions here, coming off an injury. And then Tyus Bowser. Thought he was going to be better in his rookie year. So they got him at 2. What did he play at this year? It's 250 in this game. PFF says he's 240. Let's see. $240. Add that to the list here. All right, so he actually had a really good agility grade at the combine. How did he accelerate? Let's see. Remember the thing with him was how well he moves, and he just is kind of raw. His shuttle time wasn't very well, though. So I think that's a little better there. If he's lost 10 pounds, I think he could be a little faster. He's kind of used all over the place here. Only had 5 tackles. Suggsy. God, he was a freak this year. .6'3", 265. That's all pretty good there. You have 57 QB hurries. Is that too high? And that was kind of an outlier year. That was the best year of his career. Are we expecting him to repeat that at 35? Probably not. A lot of these games came against... See, his best games, so he had Cincinnati, Houston, Cincinnati again, Chicago, and Minnesota. Those were his best games. All really bad offensive lines. He had 10 hurries against Cleveland without Joe Thomas. So, you know, maybe that was a little fluky there. I think a lot of guys in the AFC had inflated sack numbers this season. I'm good with 89, though. I was strictly talking about his hurries. This is his best year from a hurries standpoint. Obviously, he graded out better in other years. His best year grading out-wise was 2010, 2011. He had 17 sacks in 2010. All right, who do we got here? Zadarius. My back. All right. I think I'm back. Sorry about that. You guys hear me? All right, I think I'm back. I was afraid we were going to lose out on the rest of the stream, but I think we're good now. Computer just had a little hiccup. Okay, so Za'Darius, not the fastest guy. Actually pretty slow, 4.83, so that's too high. 7.42 3-cone, so that's about good, and then really slow shuttle. But probably raise that strength a little bit. He's never really had a good year, has he? He just kind of exists. Not as athletic as I thought he would be. Might explain why he wasn't quite as good. Really bad shuttle and 3-cone. Let's see. Maybe he improved it at his pro day. Let's see. Doesn't look like it. Yeah, Smith had 23 pressures. That's not terrible. Just kind of comes in and drives dudes back, which I think is reflected there with good strength and power moves at the position. It's definitely his best, most redeeming quality there. All right, Tim Williams. It's pretty neutral. He played 125. I'm okay with that. Graded out a lot better than Za'Darius did. Almost 7 times better, just on about a quarter the amount of snaps. Usually I'm hesitant to give a guy a higher rating who had less snaps at the position, but I don't know. I feel like Za'Darius kind of has his role, does his thing, but Tim Williams is a little more balanced, does different stuff. So I'm going to leave it at that. Now we got the middle linebackers here. Poor CJ Mosley. So underrated. He isn't a freak athlete by any means. It's more his instincts that make him so good. I don't know why his strength is this low, though. Uses his body very well. Why does he have 67 block shed? That makes no sense. Absolutely no sense. I think Mosley and Hightower are super similar guys. Mosley's a little more athletic than Hightower, but both just like crazy instinctive, big physical dudes. I can put an 87, 80, oh, 92. Okay. I don't know if I want him that high. I like him at 87 or 88. Le'Veon's not going anywhere. He's getting tagged. 100%. Wuasor. This guy's an interesting dude. We gotta look up, see what his workouts were like. Because he's only 217 pounds. I'd imagine he worked out pretty well. Four, 6'2". Get a 3 cone or anything? 751. All right, so the straight line guy. I'm trying to get this roster done by the end of tonight, actually. So I have like 5 teams left. So if I'm going to do that, I'm going to have to stay up basically all night. But that's the hope. And then I get started on PlayStation. But that's going to go much faster because I don't have to research at that point. All the tough work is done there once we get to PlayStation. All right, Kameli Correa. Does he still have like 80 finesse moves, I wonder? Ridiculous. It's like elite edge rushing skill. Yeah, they finally fixed that. Do those workout grades match up? Because that's freaky athletic there. Okay, 4.69. Yeah, I mean, it's about right. Darnell Sankey. Not seeing this guy on the roster. He's on the Colts. Actually making pretty good time here. The last few teams I've done have taken like 3+ hours because no NFLDraftScout.com. Must just be special teams here is my guess. Bam Bradley. What a name. Question is, do you deserve 88 speed, or is that a false? Man, a 4.5, but he had a 7.28 3-cone and a 4.73 shuttle. Did he play? He did. He played 2 snaps. Inside linebacker, week 1. All right, we're almost done. D-backs and safeties. All right, so he is how old? 29. So he'll be 30 next season. He deserves 90 speed. He's 4.46 fast. Accelerates well. 3-cone was good. We'll go with 91 for regression's sake. We know he's strong. Dude just can't stay healthy. Why does he have 43 block shed? That's insulting. He's a really good run defender. I feel like he deserves the strips ball trait. I want Jimmy at 87. And Tavon Young, this is interesting. We're going to go back and look at 2016, because he was pretty much nickel, right? He started in the nickel, but he played all over the place. He graded out, definitely not as an 80 overall. He was better in the nickel, but wasn't terrible when he stepped outside. 5'10", 174. Let's start with his athleticism. Really quick, wow. Incredible short burst speed charts here. Not very strong. So yeah, I don't think he's, I mean, he definitely could be a slot corner. I don't think he's like that good against the run. Just a little smaller. He's fine. He's not a liability by any means, but he's not like an elite run defending nickel corner. He's probably best to go outside, kind of like a Casey Hayward who's used out of position maybe. I do remember him kind of lighting some people up. But that's going to be hard to be consistent at 5'10", 174. $77. I think he should be 76. Definitely a lot of upside there, but a little work to do. Okay, Brandon Carr. He just kind of existed this year. He wasn't bad. My question is, what about those athletic traits? So at a time, he ran a 4.44. I think he's a much better athlete than this. And how old is he? He's 32, so I mean, we're not going to give him his rookie combine scores, but some middle ground to be met here. 6'1", 210 as well. That's pretty strong. And that reminds me, we never looked at the block shed for Tavon. I think that's a little high. Thinking 74 for Carr. Just the definition of a steady veteran who you can start but is never really going to blow you away. Now Humphrey, the one you guys have been waiting for. Start with us. It's funny, his comparison from the combine was Jimmy Smith. He has 6'7", 5'3" cone, and he has 86 agility. Yeah, that makes total sense. 4.41. What's his shuttle time? 4.28. So how do I do these rebuilds? Just a question, first time here. What are you referring to, my franchise rebuilds? What do you mean? Or you're talking about this roster? Not seeing a vertical for Humphrey. Sometimes you just got to trust Madden. His shuttle wasn't very good. Usually that power for it to accelerate that makes a good shuttle time translates to your vertical. Vertical and acceleration more often than not are, not going to say linear, but somewhat linear. Okay, 76. I'm good with 78 for Humphrey. Good rookie year. On and off, though. It's the awareness and play rec that are dragging him down, though, so those will be easy to fix. He'll still be a really fun player. Geez, there are a lot of corners on this depth chart. Wow. I knew the Ravens were going to be a long one. Just with all those injuries, you knew they were bringing in a ton of dudes. We got 4.49, 40 time. I think his athleticism's a little underrated here. Kennedy's another dude that had some promise that got hurt. He did come back towards the end of the year. Didn't really do a whole lot. He didn't suck, but didn't really make an impact either. I think they actually had his overall right at 72. Just a little off on the athleticism, I think. All right, we're getting there. Only a whole nother depth chart of corners to do, as this team has like every corner in the NFL on their roster, apparently. Most of these guys are going to be gone anyway, but we got to make sure we get them right for when they go to their new teams. Boykin didn't even play for this team. Is he still on the depth chart? He is. How old is Ladarius? 31. I feel like he's slowing down. But I'm curious what his old scores were. Not bad. Not off the charts, but basically just a good nickel corner at this point. Robert Nelson. Considering not that many D-backs actually played in the secondary for the Ravens this year, this team has a lot of freaking corners on their depth chart. I have no idea who Robert Nelson is, but let's just see if he's played somewhere in the past. Nelson Robert. Not in 2016. He played 41 snaps this season for Houston. feel like this is probably about right. Maybe a 66 overall. Go down, dude. Why is he? Usually have a pretty good feel for what they're going to be. All right, just about down here. Hopefully I don't have a bunch of safeties on this roster too that we have to dig through. Nope, just 2 each. Jalen Hill. Trying to find his workouts. Not easy. He's got 84 speed. Let's see, did he run like a 4.68? Oh, he's not even coming up anywhere. But that is very slow for a corner. And I feel like he probably isn't that slow. But I won't ever know. Just doesn't feel right to me, so I'm just going to give him 87 speed. Can't find his 3-cone for the life of me, but I know he ran it. Whatever. I guess I didn't realize he's 6'3", 215. All right, finally. God, that took forever to get through those corners. It's painful. Between this offensive line and the corners. It's a stressful roster edit. And I'm surprised you guys are still watching with me. Thanks for sticking around, I guess. All right, Eric Weddle. I actually don't know how fast he was coming out. I'll look this up. Seeing between 4.38 and 4.48. Okay. Just told me that OBS disconnected and reconnected, so I'm hoping I'm still here. So Weddle had an interesting year because he started really slow, but he was playing a lot of strong safety. And then he switched back to free safety and was doing really, really well there. But then again, he's going to be older next year, so it's like, where do we think he stands? I think he's like an 86 going into next year. He definitely finished strong. I know he had a bunch of picks, but those that follow me know I literally could care less about picks at safety. And Chuck Clark's an interesting one too. Dude's kind of a freaky athlete. Did he play this year? I doubt it. Played 59 snaps. And actually wasn't terrible in those snaps either. Six one 210. That might be too high. Let's see. 70 overall. 6th round pick. I think that's a little high. I like him, but definitely got work to do. Getting there. I think 67's fair. See if one of each does it. Yeah. All right, 2 more guys to go. Tony J. I got him very unathletic. Let's see how that stacks up. 4.75. It's possibly improved upon that at his pro day. Not really. Really nothing on him at all. I'll add Tim White. Let's see. I'm just going to go based on the film here then. Let's see, what's his size? 5'11", 212. Block shedding is much higher on my safeties, by the way. Because the higher block shedding for the corners is around 60 to 63, so the good safeties are high 60s into the 70s. 82 is about fair for Tony. And Anthony Levine. So we ran a 4.49. I know he's fast because he's like a money backer a lot of times. He's pretty quick too. Getting older though. But he's a pretty decent strong safety. I like Anthony Levine. That's a little high, though. I think that coverage is a little exaggerated there. Cool. And then we'll go get your boy Andy, Tim White. $57 overall. Just trying to research them a little bit. See what we got to do with them. There's no actually, I can almost guarantee you that Tim White will get overwritten when I start doing rookies, just so you know. Because I will eventually run out of players that I can create, so I have to edit existing guys. And I don't know why you like this guy, but he doesn't seem to be too much to me. Undersized and not a good athlete. Sounds good. I'll have to dial up some Tim White film and see what you guys are talking about, because Ravens done. Got like 5 teams left. Hoping to finish them tonight. Might have to push it back to tomorrow, though. We'll see. Let's see. We got to do... I did the Redskins, so we got to do the Saints. Seahawks are done. Steelers, Texans, and Titans. So only 4 teams left. And then I got to do free agents, which is another 4 or 5 hours. But thanks for tuning in, guys. I'm always impressed with how many like watching these. But it's fun to have some company. So peace out. Thanks for watching.